one of the things that's important to our fearless coverage here at the MeidasTouch Network is to call out Donald Trump's abhorrent past and to call out his friendship and relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and all of the connections that constantly reemerge. And an incident that occurred recently allows us to draw some of these connections as well. An incident that happened yesterday. I'll get to that in just a moment. Donald Trump was close friends, though, with Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump said that Jeffrey Epstein was a great guy who likes women on the younger side, although the translation is that Epstein liked girls on the younger side. Donald Trump lived close to Jeffrey Epstein. They partied together in the 90s. Jeffrey Epstein recruited victims from Mar-a-Lago like Virginia Giuffre, who was working at Mar-a-Lago. She was brought to Epstein from Ghislaine Maxwell, who trafficked for Epstein. She went to Mar-a-Lago, brought Virginia Giuffre to Epstein, and then Epstein trafficked her. Donald Trump's history, though, of doing these yacht trips with 14-year-old girls, that's been documented. Donald Trump stating on audio recordings that he uses his beauty pageants to inspect without consent naked girls at his beauty pageants. All of this is documented. All of this is on record. We have Donald Trump's flight logs, message logs, Epstein's flight logs, message logs, showing all of these connections. And I know corporate media just ignores this stuff. We don't ignore it here at the MeidasTouch Network. So here's the incident that happened yesterday. Donald Trump gave a bizarre interview all day with somebody by the name of Adin Ross. Adin Ross is a right-wing streamer. I don't know who his audience is or who he appeals to, but one of the things that he does is he sniffs the chairs of people who he interviews, sniffs the chairs of girls and ladies, and sniffs the chairs of men, men he looks up to, like alpha men. He'll sniff their chairs. He talked about, I think, sniffing his sister's underwear. I mean, real sick stuff. And Donald Trump in the interview said, "You're very well respected. You're a very well respected person." Adin Ross gifted Donald Trump the Cybertruck and gave Donald Trump a Rolex as well as part of this whole bizarre interview. But I'm bringing this up right now and making the connections here because one of the people Adin Ross is very close to is someone named Andrew Tate. One of the videos of Adin Ross that went viral was Adin Ross sniffing the chair during an interview with Andrew Tate that Andrew Tate sat on because he wanted to smell Andrew Tate's butt. I mean, and it's gross. But interestingly, if there's anything interesting about that, Adin Ross's live stream helped actually tip off authorities in Romania about the whereabouts of Andrew Tate, who was then arrested on sex trafficking and rape allegations in Romania. And it was a result of, here, I'll just read from you what NBC News says. A live streamer may have triggered Romanian police to detain influencer Andrew Tate and serve him with a UK arrest warrant. A law firm representing 4 of Tate's UK accusers told NBC News that a live stream from fellow influencer Adin Ross prompted authorities to intervene on suspicion that Tate was planning to flee Romania before standing trial there on rape and human trafficking charges. Adin Ross, close to Andrew Tate, now very close to Donald Trump and Donald Trump's kids. It's yet another example, though, of Donald Trump's, I think really kind of dangerous connections here. And I think it does open the Pandora's box into Donald Trump's past, Donald Trump's history as well. And why is he always with these types of people over and over again? Well, you know this. Let's talk about facts. And we know Donald Trump was found liable for sexual assault by a jury. He was found liable for sexual assault. During the trial, Donald Trump fled to Scotland and Ireland. He claimed he was going to return to confront the victim, but never did so. Let me just show you when Donald Trump fled during the trial and he claimed he was going to return. I want to go through the facts with you right now. Play the clip.
I have to leave Ireland and I have to leave Scotland, where I have great properties. I have to leave early. I don't have to, but I choose to.
Will you attend the trial, Mr. President?
I'll probably attend, and I think it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace that it's allowed to happen. It's called false accusations against a rich guy, or in my case, against a famous, rich, and political person that's leading the polls by 40 points. And I have to go back for a woman that made a false accusation about me, and I have a judge who's extremely hostile. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to confront this one. This woman is a disgrace, and it shouldn't be allowed to happen in our country.
So Donald Trump was found liable for sexual assault. Right. Next, Donald Trump is on an audio recording bragging about sexually assaulting women. And he says, when you're rich and famous, they let you do it and you get away with it. Donald Trump was deposed in connection with the lawsuit where he was sued and found liable for sexual assault. And he was asked about that. And in Donald Trump's own words, he said that unfortunately or fortunately, he said that's true. Let me just show you what he said. Play the clip.
And you say, and again, this has become very famous in this video, I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet, just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the pussy?
Well, that's what it's, if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
And
then there is a story from The Guardian that's written about this yacht trip that Donald Trump took in the early 1990s as part of what's called his Look of the Year competition. This was a competition involving girls as young as 14 years old and some younger. Here are the girls right here. You see the girls there that were in this competition that was hosted by Donald Trump. And what the article from The Guardian goes on to say is that on this yacht trip with Donald Trump and all of these other men who were old enough to be these 14-year-old girls' grandparents, that the older men would grind on the 14-year-old girls. And it was a horrific and disgusting incident. Donald Trump recently reposted an image of him with the girls on his social media platform as part of which is part of that story that The Guardian covered. Now, I don't know why he reposted. I mean, it's sick and disgusting, and corporate media refuses to cover it. We don't refuse to cover it here on the MeidasTouch network. I told you about the quote that Donald Trump had previously given to New Yorker in the early 2000s, where he said that Jeffrey Epstein's a great guy who likes women on the younger side. As I mentioned, it's girls Donald Trump is referring to. In fact, we have the flight logs from Epstein. You see Donald Trump's name all throughout the flight logs. Recently, the message logs from Epstein's calls were released in connection with a release of grand jury files from a Florida law that released these criminal grand jury files of Epstein. Donald Trump's name appeared there. Donald Trump's name appears throughout depositions in the Epstein files. And you can see Trump's name, some of the victims being trafficked, or at least one victim being trafficked, said that Epstein said that they would meet up with Trump. During the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, who was doing the trafficking for Epstein, they were doing the trafficking together. A part of the testimony was a 14-year-old girl said that Epstein had introduced her as a girl to Donald Trump. When Donald Trump was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell, and her criminal trial, Donald Trump's response was to wish her well. He said, I wish her well. This is what Trump said. Here, play the clip.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well. whatever it is. I don't know the situation with Prince Andrew. Just don't know. Not aware of it.
Mr. President.
Yeah, Donald Trump's referring to the woman found guilty of sex trafficking. Donald Trump said he wished her well. I'll play for you the audio recording of Donald Trump talking about inspecting the girls from his beauty pageants naked without their consent. And he said, as the owner, they let you do it. And he gets to inspect them, he says. Here, play the clip.
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like
everything is
a doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like
this. Is Donald Trump talking about Lindsay Lohan when she was 18 years old. And Donald Trump said that her mental health issues made him want to have sex with her. Here, play this clip.
What do you think of Lindsay Lohan, Howard?
I think she's hot.
There's something there, right?
Yes.
But you have to like freckles. I've seen a close-up of her chest.
Yes.
And a lot of freckles. Are you into freckles?
If the father's a wreck like the way he is.
Right.
You imagine the sex with this troubled...
Yeah, you're probably right. She's probably deeply troubled and therefore great in bed.
Back in the day...
How come the deeply troubled women...
Yes.
Deeply, deeply troubled.
Right.
They're always the best in bed. If for some reason what I said is true, I mean, they're just unbelievable.
I can tell from the...
You don't want to be with them for the long term, but for the short term, there's nothing.
Here's what Donald Trump had to say about his daughter, Ivanka, and that what he believes he has in common with his daughter is sex. Here, play this clip.
She does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Okay, Ivanka, what's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
If I weren't happily married and, her father.
My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
She's unbelievable.
She's almost 6 feet.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
And look, I can go on and on, but I think you get the point here. Sickening. Sickening, sickening stuff. And I just think it's important that we call out his behavior at every single step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. Thank you for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.